Happy May, everybody, and happy Mother's Day to all my mamas out there. So, I'm super jazzed and super excited because yesterday I got to be part of a biohacking conference for like 10 hours. So, I'm super charged with all kinds of information. And for those of you who don't know what biohacking is, it's basically like finding out ways that we can like hack our biology, right? So, just like you can like hack computer code. There's believers out there that you can like hack your DNA coding. So it was just like hours and hours of information on how to help our bodies be more, to be healthier, to be stronger, to prevent aging or fight aging, all the good stuff. And all of the speakers, at least one point in their lectures, all mentioned sleep, which you guys know I'm like sleeping is it's so important. It's so important and it comes up continuously and continuously. And you guys know last month I was promising you a big deep dive into how to get the best night's sleep ever. And after sitting yesterday and listening to all these great speakers who are, specialists in their areas and experts and doctors and all they do is study and research and have all this great data, which I love. Data is sexy. Um, I decided that like one Facebook Live isn't enough. So, and it also has to be like broken down into like little bite-sized pieces because there's so much information. And this is how I get when I learn a ton of stuff is like, oh my God, I have all this great stuff. Now, how do I apply it to my life? Like, how do I start to put it in place and get the benefit from it? So I'm going to break it down in little bite-sized pieces for you guys. And once or twice a week, at least once for sure, I'll come on and give you one new like tip or trick to do to try and implement into your life for that week, right? Because if I give you like 10 things, it's really hard to implement 10 new things into our life all at once because we already have a ton of things to do, right? So today I'm just going to talk about how to create like the best possible sleep environment that you can. So I'm going to give you the information on how to do it, and then you're going to like go into your bedroom tonight, and when you're lying down to go to sleep, you're going to kind of look around and you're going to assess the situation. And I want you to really think like, could I improve my sleep environment? Right? So we're just going to start, right? We have to plan and prepare for a wonderful sleep experience because the sleep you get sets you up for the next day, right? Just like the stuff you eat and the amount of exercise you get during the day sets you up for a good sleep that night. So it's all cyclical. So first, we're just going to focus on one little piece, which is our sleep setting, our Zen den, our sanctuary, our sleep sanctuary. Okay. So you've heard me speak of this before, but your bedroom has to be cold and it has to be dark. And this temperature is always shocking to people, but the optimal temperature to sleep in is 68 degrees Fahrenheit. I personally like 70 degrees. I can sleep perfect when it's 70. 72 starts to push it. I'm a little bit restless when I sleep, but like 70 is that sweet spot for me. But all the studies say about 68 degrees is the temperature our bodies need to like get into that deep, restful state and start to repair. Because if it's too hot, your body's going to be trying to figure out how to cool down. You're going to be tossing and turning and trying to find the cold spot in the pillow and adjusting the sheets. Like it just makes for a restless night. So try to figure out a way that you can set that temperature. Like now we're really lucky where if you do have one of those awesome thermostats like the Nest or one you can control from your phone, even some of the older ones, you guys, I had a condo that was built in the 70s and the thermostat that it had on it, it was probably updated, but you could set little ranges of time. So like at 10 p.m., I want my thermostat to go down to, 68 to go up, right? So, you can set it and forget it. So if you can set that in whatever way, shape, or form on your own thermostat, do it. Do it, do it, do it. Then you also want your room to be dark. And this is what I mean by that. Like maybe you can put blackout curtains, but here's another part of darkness that I want you to think about. When you turn off all your lights tonight and you go to sleep, I want you to look around your room and I want you to notice all the little flashing blue lights. Like maybe you have a router in your room for your computer that has the blue blinky light on it, which is distracting. Get your router out of your room if you can. put it somewhere else in your house, not where you're sleeping, right? Put it in the main area of the house, no bedrooms if you can. Or maybe you have a DVD player, maybe you have, sometimes TVs have those like shining lights. Wherever you can eliminate those little blinking lights here or there, whether you take them out of your room and you just put a little sticker over that light, again, you want to create like a really nice dark environment whenever possible. And even those little lights, those can be distracting and can like, kind of screw with your circadian rhythm when you're trying to fall asleep. Which gets me to the next point, blue lights. So, blue lights can start to really affect how we fall asleep at night. And you're like, Jamie, what are blue lights? Okay, blue lights are your phone screen, your iPad screen, your computer, if you have your laptop in your room, and flat screen TVs. So, if you have any blue light that you're using, you want to try to prevent using that like 3 hours before bedtime because our eyes are kind of put us into a sleep cycle based on the sun. So the blue lights from our phone and from our iPads, they kind of confuse our brain and our circadian rhythm when it's time to fall asleep, right? Because there's a reason why our body knows like the sun sets in about 3 or 4 hours, we start to get tired, and we want to go to sleep, and then we kind of wake up with the sunrise. Like that's like our circadian rhythm, very simple way to explain circadian rhythm. But the blue lights on your phones and on your iPads, they start to confuse us and our brain. So try not to be on your phone when you're falling asleep. Try not to be on your iPad. So anyone who's like scrolling through Facebook or Instagram when you're falling asleep, it's going to screw with how deep of a sleep you get into. Now, there's like ways you can hack this. So this is where I'm saying like there are these little hacks you can do. So say for example, you're like, I have to work like before I fall asleep. Like you have to get work done, or you have to get on your iPad, or you watch movies on your iPad or something like that. So guess what? There's a hack, right? They're called blue blocking glasses. So I chose a very like fancy 70s groovy pair. So if I have to be on my phone for any reason, or if I'm like scrolling through Instagram or I'm on my iPad or something, I just toss these babies on because these are going to like kind of block the blue light that's coming from your devices, whether it's your phone or your iPad or your computer. Like say you do have to work late at night. So basically anytime the sun goes down and then I have to be on a device, I try and throw these on whenever possible. So that's a little hack. Again, this is ways like we live in a modern society, right? Like we have all these modern conveniences and technology that we're using. And that's what's happening is like our body's starting to become affected by it. Like we're studying this now to know like these are having an effect on our overall health and well-being and how well our body repairs itself while we're sleeping. So blue block glasses are like pretty inexpensive. You can get them at Target, you can get them at TJ Maxx, you can get them on Amazon. Um, Obviously there's like all kinds of cute brands and everybody's making them now. Everybody's doing it because it does really help with your sleep schedule. Then what else? So those are the main things I would do. Like I said, I don't want to like overwhelm you with all kinds of things to do, but start with those. Just start. And like when you're falling asleep tonight, just really like kind of scope out your room, be like, could I make my room more comfortable? Like that's the most important part of the day is like this 7 to 8 hours that you're sleeping is you want to have an environment where your body can repair itself. Because during those times is when your body is like getting rid of toxins, getting rid of all the stuff you don't need. It's repairing, it's restoring. It's like so important. That's why I'm such a like sleep queen. Like you want to make sure that you're giving your body the best start. So when you wake up in the morning, you're going to feel really good for that day. So I always like, as you know, I'm a super nerd when it comes to stuff. So I love to do research on it. So I bought myself this ring, which if you're on Instagram, you might have saw my unboxing of it. So it's called an Aura ring. So this ring, right, has these little sensors in it, which is super cool. So what it does is it kind of, it can, follows your respiratory rate, follows your variable heart rate, tells you how deep of a sleep you get into. So anything I do in my day, I can know like what it's going to have effect on my sleep. And now I can quantify it. So here's like a little chart, right? So down here, like you can see in the very deep is like my deep sleep, like the deep sleep. Then the next turquoisey blue is my REM, which is sometimes when you're like dreaming and maybe you remember your dreams, maybe you don't. And then I have a light sleep. And then the white part is when I'm awake. So what I can start to do now is anything new I implement into like getting me into a good night's sleep, I can actually see here if it has an effect on my sleep. And then that gives me more information to share with you guys to be like, you guys, listen, I tried this and it works, right? Um, so what I am going to do this week, and so the next time I chime in with you is I kind of did a baseline with like taking no supplements or anything before I went to bed. And I just want to get a nice baseline of my sleep patterning and kind of you start to find like your normal groove, right? So this week, and probably for about 10 days I'll do it, I'm gonna add in the doTERRA Serenity soft gels. And I'm going to start with just one a night and see if it gets me into a deeper sleep or if it changes my sleep pattern. Because I know so many people have trouble sleeping or getting into that deep, deep restful sleep. So I'm going to do the research for you, and I'll let you know how that goes. So if you have any questions on sleep or and like for example, you guys, I know like there are certain things that we just can't control. Like for example, if you work midnights or you have a new baby or you have a new puppy, like there's certain things that are going to keep you awake for a certain amount of time, right? But there are ways we can figure out a solution to try and get you like the best sleep possible in those situations. So if ever you're like, but Jaime, but Jaime, we're going to take that butt out and we're going to find a solution for you because every person, we're all individuals and we have different things in our life that are going to affect our sleep. So let me help you. Let me help you get into that good night's sleep. Yeah. And like I said, this is your first challenge, should you choose to accept. Get your room in a nice, beautiful Zen den situation so that you can wind down and get that restful sleep. And you have to try it. Like with everything I tell you guys about, I try it first because I want to see the most thing you can do with your health and wellness is try it first. Try it, see how it feels in your body, see how it feels for you, and that's the best way you're going to know if it works or not. And of course, there's like all kinds of like tricks, right? So the Aura Ring, I can put a link for that in there. I've been stalking it and just was like super excited to get it. So, and then I have like my doTERRA sleep kit with like all kinds of good stuff in it. So the Serenity soft gels are what I'm going to go after first and test. And then I'll fill you in after that. So, again, happy Mother's Day to all my mamas out there. And if anyone is having trouble sleeping and you need more advice, let me know. Okay, bye.